You ever make chlorine gas on accident? Or have you ever made some toxic silver? Well, I have done a few things in this chemistry class. So, back when I was in high school, I did a class called AP Chemistry. So pretty much chemistry, but harder and more fun. And pretty much all that happened in there is we just did a lot of work and a lot of crazy experiments. So some of the experiments that are going to be highlighted, let's see. Let's just start with each one. First one I want to talk about is this sort of silver solution we're making. All I know is that it makes silver, but it to like paint the inside of what we're doing, but as a byproduct it kind of created some very toxic materials. So we had to be very careful and stuff, you know, make sure we didn't accidentally die. But you know, it's chemistry. This happens a lot. So you ever just walk into class one day and you're like, okay, there's gonna be a lab today. Let's see what experiments we do. It's gonna be super fun. This is when I made chlorine gas on accident. So we were doing some sort of lab. I'm not exactly sure what we were supposed to be doing. All I know is that me and my ex at the time were in a group, and neither of us listened to the teacher's instruction at all. So pretty much there are 6 experiments total in this lab. I don't really remember what all of it did, but yeah. Pretty much what happened is we were only supposed to do the first 5 experiments. And then after that, we would not do the 6th one because it was a very dangerous one and he would have to supervise each group and each group would have to do it like one at a time. So it would take too long. So we just were supposed to do the first 5. Me and my ex were not paying attention. So we didn't know. He said, don't do that last one. So we did it on accident. We go through all the experiments. It was actually really cool. I vaguely remember it, not enough to be able to talk about it. But like we do each experiment. I think it was some sort of like color changing thing that used various chemicals. But then we get to the last one. And we're like, okay, let's start doing the experiment. And we started following the instructions and stuff, not even realizing that it was gonna make a bit of a dangerous byproduct. And actually, you were supposed to make the solution under a fume hood, which, if you don't know what it is, it's that thing. Basically, what it does, if you don't know, is you mix stuff under it, and if it makes some sort of gas, it gets like sucked up in it. You know, make sure that dangerous gases from chemistry experiments don't go all in the classroom. We didn't do that. We did the experiment in the middle of the classroom, in the middle of our lab table. We didn't put it in the fume hood at all. We just started mixing stuff together. So yeah, we mixed the chemicals together, and yeah, apparently it made chlorine gas. Now the funny thing is, we weren't sure what it did. We had our face like right over the beaker as well as we were mixing it, trying to see what was happening. I don't know why we decided to do that. I guess you could say we're kind of stupid. But yeah, we mixed it on the lab table, had our face over it the entire time, and we finished it without any problems. Then we disposed of the chemicals and cleaned everything up and started doing all of our data back at our normal desks. And funny thing is, then our chemistry teacher comes behind us and looks at our laptops and looks at our data, and he's like, wait a minute, you guys did lab 6? And we're like, yeah, we did. And he's sitting there like, yeah, but you weren't supposed to do that because it makes chlorine gas. You're supposed to put it under the fume hood. And we're like, he was like, did you at least put it under the fume hood? And we stared at him like, no. So then he was like, okay, at least no one's died. We're fine. And then we just finished the rest of the class, and that was that. Yeah, we continue to do a lot of fun, different experiments throughout the year, but that was the main fun experiment that we did, that we almost made a big mistake. Well, I mean, technically we did, it just didn't have any bad sides. But yeah, that's the story. Bye.